Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Alright, looks like I'm live. Hello everyone, welcome back. Whew. Third stream, third time's the charm. You'd think I wouldn't be nervous by now. Ooh, sorry about that. I was up kind of late last night, but I had a good reason to be up late last night. If you went to my YouTube channel and saw my intro video, you would have seen that currently airing anime that I want to watch but hadn't been able to yet was Windbreaker. Well, I think you can guess where this conversation is going. But I finally did watch it. I binge watched the entire thing last night. I went to bed at like 2 or 3 a.m. That wasn't smart, but I don't care. Oh. Man, this anime is really good. Like, oh. I think, like, there's a concept in Japanese about seishun, or, like, youth, like, living your youth. And this anime is just full of that. There's a bunch of, like, high intensity fights that are da-da-da-da, and the guy with the black and white hair, like, the two-toned hair. The guy with the two-toned hair, his name is Sakura. He's really good at jumping. Like, I haven't read the original source material, but I think that maybe he was a gymnast before. That's just like my theory. Or maybe it's just the rule of cool being applied here. It's probably just rule of cool where, hey, jump good, kick good, fight good. And he does fight good, like, with the current arc when they're going against this rival gang. Like, I was some spoilers, but I was expecting a bit more back and forth. It's been pretty one-sided, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. It's very much, hey, these guys are cool, aren't they? See how cool they can fight. And they can fight really cool. But there's also, like, the emotional stuff, like, with the spiky-haired guy in the very back there. Like, his fight against his opponent, that has some really good background stuff and emotion behind it. It's just like, oh no, my heart is breaking. How you breaking my heart? And the long-haired guy in the middle there, he's more of a strong silent type, but he's also extremely dedicated to the white-haired guy in front. To the point where I don't doubt if I were to look it up, there would be fan art of him as a little puppy dog. Like, it's that sort of thing. It's that sort of thing that he has going on. And let's see, the blonde guy, he's mostly... Let's see, he's the weakest of the bunch, but he has all the information in this little booklet where I have no idea where he got it. I'm sure there's some background to that. Like, I thought he wrote it all himself, but then, like, in the current fighting arc, he's looking up the different people inside the book as if it's some sort of, like, guide to the series for for the fighters. And then the guy with the earrings near the back. We don't have much for him in terms of backstory. He's more of a mysterious figure. But he's also very mature and very cool. Like, there's no doubting that he is a badass with everything that he does. But it's not like a badass that goes in, you know, fists of fury. He's more... I guess it's more like a cool gust of wind that blows things around at its will. And whatever's being blown around is completely powerless to stop him. Yeah, I think that's a good, accurate explanation of what we've seen of his fight style so far. I'm so curious about this backstory. I think when the anime is done airing, I looked it up, it has 13 episodes, which I don't know why, but okay. I think I'll go back and read the source material as well. Because since this is an adaptation, they may be cutting stuff out. So going back from the beginning is good. And also to be fun to compare it to. I learned this while reading Kamitachi and comparing it to what I've seen in the anime, that comparing an adaptation to its original thing can actually be a lot of fun when you really love it. But that can be a conversation for another day. I've probably spent way too long talking about Windbreaker, but yeah, no, it's fine. Today is, well, let's go over here. So yeah, for today, we're going to be going over my vocabulary that I've sort of tried to organize. Now, the reason I already have this document is in my Japanese classes, they would give us like kanji vocab for a week, but they wouldn't really test us on it. Like, you know, back in like grade school, like first grade, second grade, where you would have spelling tests for a week. Like at the beginning of the week, you would learn 10 new words and how they're spelled. And then throughout the week, there would be different assignments where you would use those words. And then at the end of the week, the teacher would say the word out loud for a test, and you would have to write it down to see if you knew how to spell it. So, like, my college teachers would do the first half of that, but they wouldn't really do the second half. So I have a bunch of kanji and other vocabulary that I had written down, but that I hadn't really learned. And at least one of my teachers was really obsessed with teaching us the stroke order for different kanji. But this was at a time when, you know, COVID was still a thing. So there wasn't really a way to test us on whether or not we had learned the stroke order. Like, she would stream to us from a website that would show us what the stroke order was. But she then, at the end of the week, wouldn't tell us to go test it somewhere. Like, I think it'd be easy to program something where you have the kanji on the screen, and then using a mouse, someone could go along the lines to what they think the stroke order is, and then they would be graded on whether or not they did it correctly. Like, obviously stay within the lines, but then there's also the stroke order. Like, if you're going to teach stroke order, then you should test stroke order, because testing is the part where comprehension theoretically should come into play. And before I started streaming, I tried to organize as many of them as possible. Like, you see, I have different titles here, but not all of them were able to be separated into their own things. There's a huge section just at the end where it's just a bunch of miscellaneous words that I was quote-unquote taught, but that didn't really have much of a purpose inside the lessons.